Some new details have been revealed regarding Star Wars The Acolyte, the new show coming to Disney Plus, and they are looking, well, different than what we have heard before. And we will be getting into all of these new theories and all these new details in today's video. But as always, before we get started, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more Star Wars content. Now, let's get into today's video. Star Wars The Acolyte will take the audience into a world of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers. And according to these sources, that world of shadowy secrets is going to be centered around the Hutt Cartel and the crime world. Now, there's nothing wrong with this, and I'm still excited for the show, but having the show revolve around the underworld instead of the Sith is something that I feel is, I don't know, it's just, I feel like I'm just not as excited. I'm still excited, but I'm not as excited for the show if it doesn't involve the Sith as much. Now, of course, we need to be very careful when theorizing, and we need to remember that theories are just that, theories. That they aren't official, and it's just Star Wars fans like me guessing what is going to happen and just having fun. And we need to remember that at the end of the day, we are not the ones who are writing these shows, unfortunately. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, my point is, I still think that with The Acolyte, I would prefer a show about the Sith and how they are plotting to destroy the Republic instead of it focusing instead on the crime world. You know, I feel like the Book of Boba Fett is going to handle that part of the galaxy just fine. I mean, originally, I was thinking that the show was going to be about a fallen Jedi, or a fallen Padawan, who would be seduced to the dark side by Darth Plagueis. I mean, come on, emerging dark side powers, shadowy secrets, and all of that taking place before Episode 1? I mean, that just screams Darth Plagueis. But now the Hutt Cartel is going to be involved somehow. I mean, they could just decide to go a completely different way and have the main character not be a Jedi or a Sith at all, which would be idiotic, and literally go against everything that the show has hinted at. I mean, even the name of the show, The Acolyte, refers to a dark side user who serves the Sith. So if they end up deciding not to have the Force play a key role in anything, then I feel like that would be very foolish on their part. Well, time to theorize and see how I can squeeze this in there and still make everything nice. So how could the Hutts being involved work? So instead of the young girl, the main character who eventually is going to become an acolyte, instead of her being a Jedi, there is a chance that she could be something or someone from the crime world. I mean, the show does say a world of shadowy secrets. Maybe this is referring to an unexplored area of the galaxy that is ruled by the Hutt Cartel. Or perhaps it's just talking about the underworld in general. I mean, we have gotten a little bit of that, but we really haven't gotten a show that delves very deep into that part of the galaxy yet. Anyway, so this girl is working for Jabba, or one of the other Hutts, you know, Hutt crime families or something like that. You know, maybe she's a smuggler or maybe even an assassin. But either way, she has a particular set of skills that allows her to live in the underworld and survive. Now, whether or not she is one of Jabba's top people is yet to be determined, but she is nonetheless good at what she does. She was born into this life and has spent her entire childhood and young adult years working the ins and outs of the crime world and, you know, kind of specializing in whatever it is that she does. It was because of this, you know, her being born into a not very public arena of the galaxy, that her Force potential was never discovered by the Jedi, even in the era of the High Republic. So she was never taken to the Jedi Temple, she was never trained, you know, never was taught how to handle her Force potential. So anyway, she is working with the Hutts or some other crime syndicate, and of course, she has a run-in with Hugo Damask or Darth Plagueis, who is also rumored to be a big part of the show. Now, this isn't something that is so unheard of, as the Sith routinely worked with the crime syndicates on several occasions. Not to mention also that Damask was in charge of Damask Holdings, and he played a very prominent role in the banking clan, which was a central pillar in the economy of the galaxy, and obviously for sure had dealings with the underworld, especially the Hutt Cartel, as they controlled a vast quantity of wealth. So that explains how Darth Plagueis would be involved in the show, or that's, I guess, his into the show. Or maybe Jabba sends her, the main character, to Damask in order to work out some deal, and, you know, perhaps that's how they meet. I don't know the exact details, but either way, they will meet in the show, and then he will obviously take an interest in her. The rest of my theory pretty much stays intact for the most part, just with a few tweaks here and there. So the main character goes off and eventually becomes Plagueis' acolyte, but instead of trying to get revenge on the Jedi for, mistreating her like how I previously thought would happen, she would continue her work in the crime world because, she has no reason to go after the Jedi because they haven't really done anything to her. Or maybe they have, we don't know. But if she does stay in the crime world and kind of the underlayer of the galaxy, this would explain how she never becomes a full-on Sith and remains an acolyte. Like, she would be Plagueis' eyes and ears within the underworld, and she would carry out his will and kind of be his enforcer there, but because she isn't directly involved with the Sith and is more of a servant than an actual apprentice, she will just remain at the level of acolyte. Now, this would actually be a very cool premise for the show, kind of combining the best of both worlds, seeing this incredibly powerful Force wielder who serves Darth Plagueis and just kind of goes around and wreaks havoc on the underworld would be awesome. Maybe the show will explore the fall of the High Republic. I mean, it takes a while to topple an entire government, and the grand plan was obviously set in motion, and there was a lot of things that had to work before Palpatine eventually, finished the job. So maybe this show will explore them, laying the foundation of corruption that eventually led to the fall of the Republic. I mean, like all of those corrupt politicians who ended up serving the Empire, they had to come from somewhere. Anyway, I think that it would be really interesting to look at this side of the galaxy while still maintaining a dark side or a Sith perspective. I mean, we've already seen a Jedi fall to the dark side and join the Sith, in Anakin Skywalker. But seeing an acolyte, seeing someone who has never been brought up or influenced by the Jedi teachings, I think that would be cool because she would just be, pure dark side. And then, on top of that, she'd be buried in the crime world, which would, again, be very cool. Maybe like a force-wielding bounty hunter or assassin or something like that. I mean, the crime world and the dark side, that's pretty cool. I guess my theory about this being some dark and adult Star Wars may come true after all, because you put those two things together and you're bound to see some things. So yes, Star Wars The Acolyte is going to deal with the dark side, and now, according to these new reports, the HUTTS are going to be involved as well. So I am still excited for the show if they end up doing it right, because they can mess it up big time as well. Star Wars is in a great place right now. There are so many shows in the works at Lucasfilm, and I feel like things are hopefully going to pick up story-wise. I mean, yeah, we have The Mandalorian, and it is awesome. I absolutely love The Mandalorian, but I feel like Star Wars fans, I feel like we want more. We want more content. I mean, we're kind of in a Star Wars drought right now. As far as television goes, there's really nothing new coming out, and obviously we have the High Republic, which is great and everything, but it's not really engaging the fandom as much as, The Mandalorian does, per se. And, Disney, Lucasfilm, if you're listening, again, we are not in Star Wars fatigue. We want all the content that you can possibly give us. If it's Star Wars related, bring it on. We're hungry and we want it. And I'm hoping that The Acolyte is going to be part of this. I'm hoping that it will be, good. I'm hoping that it will be some of the best Star Wars ever, again, if it is done right, if they do it right. Anyway, that's it for today's video. If you guys liked what you saw today, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more Star Wars content. I love making videos for you guys, and I appreciate all the support that I've been getting. So if you haven't already, again, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, join our little Star Wars community here. I would greatly appreciate it, and it means the world to me. Thanks for watching the video, and remember to forever be a Star Wars fan.